Whoa, look at that. Sunny day. Nice. I like that. Well, anyway, today I'm going to do a couple of photo shoots with my clients, and I'm testing 3 brand new lenses with these shoots. One of which I'm going to focus on is the brand new Viltrox 15mm f1.7 Air. Yes, this is possibly one of the best, if not the best, ultra-wide rectilinear prime lens for ASP-C cameras. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, definitely looks very good now. Okay, right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
These days, the night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Threw the candle in the midnight oil and lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few 100 miles. I'm running wild. Ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad doubts in my...
Right, that was good. Just finished a shoot, and I used all combinations of the lenses that I wanted to test today, which is awesome. Just to test out the autofocus performance, the general sharpness and rendering, which is what I really focus on these days in terms of review, because I know many of you would like to see like test charts, how sharp it is, how much resolving power, but there are a lot of websites you can do that. But at the moment I'm focusing on the practicality side of it, how you would use a photographer and use the lens, you know, on the camera, right? You know, to be honest, for me personally, you know, like all modern lenses are good enough already. You don't really have to worry too much about sharpness in general, especially for portrait, which most are centrally composed. So you don't have to worry about sharpness in the center, because all of them are pretty good, I would say. And there's some really, really cheap options out there, but most of them are, yeah, very, very decent. Let's go to Tower Bridge for my second shoot. We shall see what's gonna be like, because the light is very strong today, which is not ideal because the contrast level is very high. And don't forget, I do natural light shoots, so it's going to be quite different when it comes to look and feel. Using a flash and strobe is obviously, you can create a better shot. You can overpowering the sun and making a very dramatic shot, but at the same time, you know, you lose the naturalness of it. So, you know, it's a give or take, right? You know, you can have something but lose another. It's never going to be everything that you want. But for me, I like natural light shots. I mean, I like strobe, but in a more commercial sense. At the moment, it's more about memories of a place that you visited and things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing the most. That's what I do on a daily basis.
I'm running wild. I'm running wild. I'm running wild. I'm running wild. I'm running
wild. Okay, let's mount the new 15.7 to see what it looks like. I'm gonna wait for that guy to turn on. Yeah. Oh, I think I've got one. Right, don't know any of them works. One thing about street photography is, of course, the randomness of it. It's not something you can plan in advance. You can kind of find the location, find the light, but whatever happens next, it's so random. There's no guarantee. So that's, I guess, is that luck element that you have to embrace. You know, you get it, you get it. If you don't beat yourself up for it. You know, it doesn't always happen.
Your body waving like the ocean, waving like the ocean, waving like the ocean, waving like the. Your body waving like the ocean, waving like the ocean, waving like the ocean, waving like the. Your body waving every angle I want. You got me waiting till the beat gonna drop. Hit me.
Okay, now you're sounding crazy.
You wanna go? Heaven can wait. Dipping your toe down to your face. How can I flow? Catching your wave. Why would you leave when you do me this way? Looking so phenomenal. Hit me like a kick to my abdominal. I can't shake it. Tell me what you wanna do, baby. Everything you're sweating through, baby. like a wave, but you waving hello, kissing all my yesterdays. Goodbye, goodbye.
Ooh, look at that. Look at this rubbish. Look at that. That's horrible, man. I'm telling you. Disgusting. Why would people do that? Why can't they just chuck the rubbish in the bin? Yeah, arrest them. So the next few videos is going to be interesting because I am actually using the Fujifilm X-M5 for some of my professional shoots. In fact, I have been doing this for the past 2 weeks because I'm testing a few lenses on the Fujifilm X mount. And one of which that I want to concentrate in today's video is the brand new Viltrox 15mm f1.7 Air. Yeah, this is very interesting lens. So yes, the X-M5 isn't exactly a professional camera, to be honest. So not really that you would think that a pro would use a tiny camera like this. But like I also said before, well, if you're a professional photographer, if you're a competent photographer, you can use any gear, right? So this is not really a thing that I want to point out today or trying to prove it to you, but just the fact that I can use any camera as and when I wish, whether it's going to be micro four third, you know, ASP-C or full frame or even medium format. They're not going to make much difference to me when I'm shooting, but of course I will have to adjust to a lot of the differences between formats. For instance, depth of field, for instance, this is one big element that I have to adjust myself, because whether I want to have a shallower depth of field or deeper depth of field, it just really depending on scenarios. But anyway, today I'm looking at this 15mm f1.7. This is a tiny lens, actually very good lens, spoiler alert. And it compares very well to all the other offerings at the moment. But in fact, if you look closer to what it is, I don't think you can actually find a decent alternative for the price. When it comes to the price, of course, this is a Viltrox Air lens, which means that it's a consumer lens. It's not going to be expensive. So at time of making this video, I have the price listed on the screen right now. I think it's very affordable. It's about $300. So it's actually very good for what it is, because this is an ultra wide. Don't forget, it's a 15mm on an ASP-C platform. So the closest one that you can possibly get for the same angle of view is the Laowa 10mm adapted on the ASP-C platform, because they do have the Nikon Z and E mount. So if you use a Sony ASP-C or Nikon ASP-C camera, you can actually make it like a 15mm, which is exactly what this is. But that lens is double the price and also double the weight. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been using this lens on and off on my X-M5, you know, just because this is the ultra wide lens, so not necessarily that I can use it on a daily basis. It has to be very specific, very planned shoots. So I'm just photographing a lot of the scenery stuff around, some street photography, because ultra wide can be quite useful creating some impactful street shots. You know, I love for that. So this is actually pretty cool. So whenever I have spare time, I actually slap this lens on my X-M5 and do some street stuff. That's really cool. But overall, I would say the image quality is excellent. You know, for the price, you really can't argue with that. I mean, sharp, really sharp. Sharp enough on my 26 megapixel sensor. I'm not entirely sure about the 40 megapixel on the Fujifilm cameras, but so far on the 26, it looks brilliant. There are a couple of really good things about the 15mm 1.7, one of which is the distortion, almost lack off basically. And the chromatic aberration Leica is also performing really well, optically corrected, so it's brilliant. And flare resistance is really great. You know, I point this lens into the sun and I couldn't ever see any flaring at all. So that is really cool. And the only thing that I noticed that perhaps is not as good, it would be the close focusing capability of this lens. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a particular measurement, but I can't point it as close as, let's say, a micro four third lens, for instance, or even some other ASP-C offerings. Last but not least is the autofocus of the 15-1.7 Air. Right, all the other Air lenses I've tested before are for the Nikon Z cameras, and so this is the very first time I use an X mount camera. So this is really interesting for me, but the experience is great. I think the autofocus really lives up to the Viltrox standard. It's fast enough for day-to-day shooting, not fast enough for action. But again, I don't think you're going to use this lens for any sort of like really extreme fast action anyway. But for general, even walking around, when people you know, walking to a shoot away from you, side to side, it tracks really well, and I don't see any deficiencies on it. And in terms of video capabilities, this is good. The motor is quite silent. I don't really see a lot of breathing, and perhaps because it's so wide, so it's really unnoticeable. So that may be a good option if you want to mount this lens on a gimbal, for instance, do at state videography or something that with really wide angle shot that you want to do. So overall, I think the Viltrox 15mm f1.7 Air is an excellent lens, especially for the price, because I think that you will probably have to spend at least double that with a native Fujifilm lens, or even a little bit more for other offerings at the moment. And I think Viltrox has done a great job in recent years. They have basically produced great lens after great lens after great lens, and the Air series has proven to be one of those more popular lenses simply because of the price is so low and its autofocus is really performing well. Of course, it lacks a lot of stuff like the Pro lenses has, like weather sealing, metal build, for instance. But overall, in terms of image quality, it stacks up really well. Like I said earlier, distortion is almost zero. There's no like visible vignette or chromatic aberrations, and the flare resistance is excellent. So you can shoot in all kinds of lighting situations, which is fantastic. And I can't really see any bad thing about this lens. You can really use it all day if you really want to in the ultra wide look. So I guess it's quite an easy recommendation. So this is it. This is my quick review on the Viltrox 15mm f1.7 Air. I think it's really great. And they also produce other mounts as well, not just on the Fujifilm X mount, but also the Nikon Z and also Sony E. It's great. I think it's great, and I really hope, I'm still dreaming at the moment, that Viltrox will make some Micro Four Thirds autofocus lenses, because the 15mm can be a 30 really equivalent on the full frame lens on the Micro Four Thirds platform. So it's a usable lens with a 1.7 aperture. It really competes well with all the other 15-17mm focal range on the Micro Four Thirds platform. So I think that will be a great thing to have. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with that as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumb, and if you want to see more practical review, like proper using my camera and lenses that I'm testing for my professional shoot, stay tuned for more and give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So until next time, I'll see you all very soon. Keep well. Peace out.